Hi, welcome to the Living in Partnership with Spirit show. I'm Ingrid Turner, your host. Thrilled to be here with you again today. So what do we do during these shows? During these shows, I will be sharing the spiritual energies forecast for the week with you, and then I will go into a topic for this show's topic where I'll discuss, dissect, and elaborate on messages I have received from Spirit. So once a month, I have special shows, and next week is our February special show, and I'm really excited about this because it's a reader's circle. So each month, at the end of the month, the last show of the month, I have a show that features panels with expert guests on in-depth topics. And on next Tuesday, we have a reader's circle. So I've got three amazing psychic readers coming on to answer your questions. So mark your calendars, February 28th, it's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern on the Living in Partnership with Spirit show. And we only have an hour, so call in, reserve your spot so we can get your questions answered. We want to answer as many questions as possible. So one thing I always want to make clear at the beginning of each and every show, because I think it's really important to hammer this home, is there's no special reason that I receive messages that I do, except that I'm just really open to it. And it's part of what I'm passionately committed to that enlightenment lifestyle and keeping myself open and ready to receive from Spirit, which means that you can too. So it doesn't make me better or worse than anyone else. It just makes me open because it's something that I work at. It's something that I'm committed and passionate about. I am so grateful to find myself in a position where I am able to receive with clarity and then share my experience of the messages with you. So thank you for being present with me. Thank you for allowing me to share Spirit's wisdom with you. And then your job is to take what you hear, hold on to what resonates deeply with you, and then let the rest go. I don't prescribe a dogma. I just share what I get, and I share it in the clearest way that I know how. So if you would like to work with me one-on-one, I like to tap in for Spirit individually. You can book time with me on my website at ingridhturner.com. That's ingridhturner.com. If you don't feel able to book time with me, I do offer a bunch of different ways to connect with Spirit. So you can purchase an email reading from me or an audio reading, or I have a couple of different options there on my website, ingridhturner.com. Check it out. I want to fit into as many needs and budgets as I can, so my services start at $25. So you can also connect with me through my Facebook group. That's the Living in Partnership with Spirit Facebook group. So it's the same name as this show. You'll just plug that into Facebook search and it'll pop right up. And that's a really, really cool community. It's over 1,000 people now coming together and just talking about their lives living in partnership with Spirit. People share their advice. They ask questions. You know, it's full of spiritual seekers and mediums and intuitives and anybody interested in these topics and interested in really strengthening their partnership with Spirit. So it's a whole community that I would love for you to be a part of, living in partnership with Spirit. And then we have some fun perks just for that community as well, which you can check out and you're privy to once you become a member of that group. Okay, so let me start the show with my definition of living in partnership with Spirit. So if you're the first time listening to the show, you're going, what does that even mean? So what I'll tell you is, for me, living in partnership with Spirit, it means to commune with the divine, live from this place of feeling and intuition, and live with less anxiety and more certainty. Ultimately, for me, it means living in your highest purpose in this body on this planet. So what this show does, we explore different themes, topics, and paths to living in partnership with Spirit, and we'll dive into the many ways in which we communicate, we experience, and we work with Spirit in our daily lives. So I'm going to kick off this show with the spiritual energies forecast for this week. So that's today, February 21st, through next Monday, February 27th. And just as an overview, I will say that this week is a chill week in that please be as chill as you can manage it. I know we have work, we have lives, we have things we've got to get done, but ask Spirit to give you the space in order to just retreat into yourself. I'm seeing that for the whole week. And I'll go through it day by day and give you more details, but really the gist of it is this week is about healing, going within, self-exploration, self-discovery, and really, you know, we're kind of going back to those. We got some sticky stuff to revisit and look at. And some of these things you'll have already, you'll have already, you know, maybe you'll feel like, I thought I dealt with that. I thought I took care of that. But no, things are still coming up for review. It's layers and layers and layers. And what's beautiful about this is, you know, do a little reframe on that. You get to peel back layer after layer and emerge over and over again. So that's what this week is about, is just really going within whenever you can this week and working on self, working on your own light. I'm thinking of, I've got the Hermit card popping in my head now, which is the Hermit Tarot card, which is the lone man on the mountain with a lantern, guiding his way. This is a star, the lantern, and I think the Rider-Waite deck. So go within and not prepare, but, allow yourself to feel your feelings. So whatever bubbles up, just know that that's what's up for review. And you have an opportunity to dive into those feelings, dive into some issues, or just dive into some self-care and revel in it for a little while. Okay, so I'll go through this day by day. Today today's a really interesting day. So prepare for your stuff, things that I've been talking about, things that are coming up for review, the sort of emotional baggage or what have you. Prepare for that to be reflected back to you in your relationships. So the people who love you and who you love, who you're close to, what we're going to be doing all day with each other is acting like mirrors. We're going to go to our best friend and say, hey, here's a mirror. And the best friend's going to be like, I look like crap today. So that's just that. So just be prepared for that. And the reason why that can be so fraught is we tend to blame the other person for how, quote, they're making us feel, unquote. But I would say try not to do that today. Just understand when you run into what seems like a conflict with somebody or a roadblock, or they're simply acting like a spiritual mirror for you. And everything that you feel like is coming from them, it's not. It's being reflected back to you through them. So it's coming from you, hitting them, and shooting back at you. So this is an opportunity for you to see where you still got some blocks, where you still have some sticky pieces and sticky spaces to work through. And once you can not take it personally or feel like you are under attack or judged or what have you, and just understand that it's just sticky little places that are inside of you that you've got an opportunity to sort of clean out and dust out and knead and mold and make it how you want, then you have command back over yourself and over your life, and you're no longer giving your power away by feeling like it's something outside of you, because it's not. It's just a reflection. And our soulmates in this lifetime, be that our partner, our parents, our siblings, our children, our friends, we have such a soul tribe that we're so blessed to be here with. Part of their job is to prod us along. And one of the ways they do that is they reveal our shit. Okay? They go, this is where you've got problems. And they may not do it in a straightforward way, but in sort of a conflict-ridden way, or, that mirror that I was talking about. So just try not to take it personally and understand that it's just your own stuff. It's spirit finding a way to bring that up for you to review and to look at. And today, it's all about other people. It's about it being mirrored from other people. Okay, so tomorrow and Thursday are days where I'm feeling a lot. I'm seeing and feeling a lot of, okay, you gotta chill, And like I said, I know that we have jobs and we have things to do, but prayer works. And if you can, ask Spirit, please help me carve out some space so that, get some me time in, whether that's an hour, getting up in the morning or a lunch break, whatever it is, try and get some me time in. Tomorrow is really about your physical body, taking care of your physical body. One thing that most of us need to do more of is drink more water. We need to have more water in our system. And that's going to help give you some energy, give you some pep, and help you kind of fill you out, help take away that dryness. And, most of us are dehydrated 99% of the time because we don't think to drink water. And by the time we get to that place where we're thirsty, we're actually feeling thirsty, we're really dehydrated. So whenever you think about it, fill yourself up a glass of water, take it to your desk, whatever you're doing today, and drink it as you go. Maybe replace your coffee with water. Maybe just one cup of coffee, or your tea or whatever it is. Try and get more nourishment in your body tomorrow, not just water, but anything sort of watery, like vegetables would be really good, anything like that. On Thursday is a really good day to focus on your rituals and your form. So it's going to be feeling harder for you to maintain your spiritual, stay in faith. I mean, remember, faith is a state of being, and we create form around our faith in order to bolster our faith. So whether you're staying in your spiritual energies, that's going to be a little bit harder on Thursday. It's just feeling very buoyant, and I'm getting this ringing in my ears. So okay, this is coming through. That's feeling really buoyant. The energy is feeling really buoyant and kind of out there, and you're just going to have a hard time staying settled and grounded. So That's perfect considering the topic today that we're going to be talking about later on is grounding. So work on your form today. So work on your rituals. Whether you meditate in the morning, don't forget to do that. Make that a priority. Burning incense, burning sage, prayer. Any kind of ritual spiritual rituals that you have created for yourself, or you follow that you subscribe to. Follow those today, because that's going to help you stay grounded and stay centered, because the energy is boom. It's like this boom, boom. It's like it's pulsating, and it's just going to be very hard to stay in your body, in your element. So make it physical, because we're physical beings having a physical experience. So you get to make it physical, and then you'll be able to stay much more centered and grounded. And I follow along the theme. This is another form of self-care. Okay, this is spiritual self-care. So on Wednesday you're working on your body. Thursday you're working on spirit. Make the form a priority. So Friday, leaning into this energy, we've got tribe stuff going on, especially the feminine energy. So not necessarily women specifically, but pay attention to the feminine energy in your life. Whether you're a man or a woman, this is going to be really nourishing for you. I heard the word nourishing in terms of your emotional well-being. Okay, so we've been dealing with, Wednesday's the physical, Thursday's the spiritual, Friday is good for emotional well-being. So it feels like a cuddling. It's a good cuddling day, and reach out to the friends and the family and the people in your world, in your life, who really embody this feminine energy. And that doesn't have to be women. There are men, more and more men in our world, who are also embodying this feminine energy, and it's going to be so nice for you. And by feminine, I mean things like getting together with conversation, holding hands, cooking together, or cooking for one another. Just that, whatever you need to feel emotionally fulfilled, emotionally together. Make that a priority today. And again, I keep being told to reiterate, hey, people are busy. Remember, they're busy, and you are busy, but prayer works. You just need ask for some time, ask for an hour, and Spirit will carve that out for you. It'll just hand it to you, because your spirit, your energy is crying for this self-care and this going within and this taking care of yourself today, or this week. So that prayer will certainly be answered, because it's more than just you intellectually asking for something. Your whole being is requiring this right now. Okay, so moving into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday are more going within, and really a lot of introspection is going to be very, very beneficial for you. A lot, reevaluating your lifestyle. So what kind of exercise are you getting? What are you putting into your body? Really working on your health, and really going within to determine what that best is going to look like. Our body knows what it needs to thrive. We've just forgotten how to hear it, because we are bombarded in our culture by all the latest health fads and what you should do and what you shouldn't be doing, and how you're supposed to look and how you're supposed to feel. But if you could tune that out, turn off the TV, get off the internet, spend some time with just you, go within and really ruminate on your physical well-being, your health, your healing, what needs to be healed, what health problems do you have, what does your body need? Go in and listen to it, and you will receive an answer. And you can receive an answer all kinds of different ways. So be open to how Spirit needs to get that information to you. You might hear something, you might see something, you might meditate for a while, or go in and then, leave that situation and find your answer out in the physical world through signs and synchronicities. Your job is just to trust the message and trust what comes through, okay? So then moving into next week on Monday, I'd love being able to kick off the following week. What I'm hearing is, if you heed Spirit's calling and you do what you can to go within and work on self, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, and really get good with your lifestyle, really start to understand what you're doing with your lifestyle, there's going to be hugely positive changes spearheaded on Monday. You can facilitate big positive change in your life. So if you're ready for that, then you will go into this week, with that healing mentality, with that self-care mentality. And next week, I'm feeling like a ramping up. I'm feeling like an ability to really take charge of your life, because you're course correcting this week. You're being given the opportunity to course correct and really understand. And I'm not talking about career. I'm not talking about, what's outside of you. You're needing to course correct on the inside. Like this internal compass is a little bit crooked, okay? And you're going to need to go in and work it out and knead it out and straighten out that compass. And when you do that, when you really give yourself the time to do that, work through the anxiety you have about not doing, and spend some time in being, you're going to be able to launch yourself into the next phase, into what's coming next. All right. So I love that we're talking about grounding today. That's the topic we're covering, because that's really important for self-care. That's really important for health and healing, is to be grounded in your body. So we're going to talk today why it's so important to be grounded and some techniques on how to do it, how to ground yourself. Grounding is one of those things that can be really, really difficult for those of us who have a spiritual inclination and tend to be checking out off in spirit. And I am the worst offender in that sense. All my life it's been, I'd rather be checked out, and why should I be grounded? I'm happy out here. But I did finally learn why it is important, and it's something that I have been working on consistently and has made my life better, and I'm going to share that with you. So at the end of this segment on grounding, I will be taking calls. You can call in to ask a question about the topic today, or you can call in for a mini reading, or both. So if you call right now, you can reserve your spot in the queue. The number is 657-383-1895, and you'll press 1 to get on the show. Once again, that's 657-383-1895, and you press 1 to get on the show. Okay, so let me talk about what is grounding. What do I mean by that? Grounding is your spirit solidly in your body. It's connected to the physical realm. Why is this so critical for spiritual persons? Those of us communicating with spirit or passing along spiritual messages, spiritual teachers, healers, we hear that all the time. Oh, you got to make sure you're grounded. You got to make sure you're grounded. Well, why? That was always my question, because I love being out in spirit. I remember when I was 7, 8 years old, taken off into the woods by myself for hours and just completely in solitude, reverberating with spirit. It was the best. And when as I grew up and came into my own spiritual life, my own spiritual structure, it was hard for me to really take seriously this, you got to be grounded. It felt like it was just a buzzword. Like, really, why? So I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it's a form of protection. All right. So last week we talked about protection and spiritual protection, and grounding is a way to protect yourself, keeping yourself solidly in the physical. Because we are physical beings, we're not actually that adept at flying out in spirit. We're just not. We overload, okay? And it's not helpful for us or for spirit or the people that we're here to help. The reason that we have the ability to fly out in spirit and to communicate with spirit and receive these messages is because we have a sacred mission to turn around and help others, to help people elevate themselves, to help them expand into their highest consciousness, whatever particular form that takes. But we can't do that to the fullest effect available to us unless we are also in our physical body. We need to be able to stay in our physical body and reach out into spirit. And so it's, I lost my train of thought there. That's right. Okay, so it's a form of protection. It keeps you here while you're going out there. It is possible, when people wake up really, really quickly to spirit, when you have a spiritual awakening, it can spin you out. And I've talked about this before, but people, it's just a fact that there are cases where people crack open and they spin out in spirit because they're not grounded and they don't have anyone around to help them ground or to help bring them back down to earth. And people have ended up in mental institutions as a result of this. So like I say, grounding is a form of protection. Ground yourself as you move forward on your spiritual path, as you crack open further and further and further, and you're going to be able to access so much more information and keep yourself firmly rooted. And that's how you're going to help people. You're not going to help anyone or yourself if you're locked up, if you're in a straitjacket, okay? So being grounded, following on the helping, it makes you the conduit. So rather than drifting off into space, into the ethereal, into spirit, or conversely just living in the physical world, you become the conduit. You become the center of the seesaw. You keep it balanced. It enables you to go so much further out into spirit. It's the weirdest thing. It seems like that's totally counterintuitive, but the more grounded you are in your body, the more grounded you are to the physical realm, the further out you can reach into spirit, and you can bring back those gems that you receive from the infinite. I don't know how to explain it any other way except I just have to say, trust me, because that's what I found is when I am grounded, if I'm doing a reading for somebody or teaching, when I'm really grounded and in my body, I can go way far out. I can open up so much more, and I can bring back messages and deliver them in a way that is concrete and real, and people can understand it, and they can use it to transform their life. So spirit needs you to be grounded so that you can deliver the message effectively. So the other thing that grounding does is it energizes you. I have an amazing story to tell about grounding. I would say maybe a year ago, I was doing a martial arts class, and I had been working on grounding, but I was still in a place where I wasn't great about it. And so I was a little bouncy in and out. So I was in a jiu-jitsu class one evening, and we were on the mat, we're doing rolls and falls, so rolling around the mat. And I suddenly started to feel really faint. I was like, I thought I was going to pass out. I was like, what is this? I ate really well today. I don't understand what's going on. So I bowed off the mat, and I went into the bathroom, and I found myself just having the urge to shake my hands very vigorously. So shaking. And all of a sudden, it's like, I'm not sure what it was. I felt a little heavier, but not in a negative way, not in like a sluggish way. It just was boom. And that just was the result of just shaking my hands. And I went, okay, cool. I guess I'll go back out. So I went back out on the mat, and I started doing my rolls and falls again. And I realized that what I'd been feeling was my body was completely relaxed. It was more relaxed than I'd ever felt in my life. I'm a person that holds a lot of tension, like many of us do. And I was completely relaxed. And when I'd hit the mat with a fall, I would do a back fall or a face fall or whatever it was like my whole body landed simultaneously at once, and I was, boom, completely relaxed. And it felt, there was no jarring, it just felt completely natural and easy. And I would get up, I'd do over and over and over again. And this whole 2-hour-long class, I was just going, doing strenuous physical activities, martial arts classes, throws and rolls and falls and forms and punches and kicks. And I wasn't getting tired. I wasn't out of breath. My body was just, and at one point during the class, and also I was so full of joy. And what happened was I had grounded myself completely accidentally. I got into the bathroom and shaken out my hands and threw the excess energy out of me into the earth, and it latched on and it grounded me. And I was so full of joy, and I was so energized, and I was having so much fun. And we had these breaking boards in the class, and one of the most amazing part of this was one of the other students held up a board for me. And there's a technique that you can use where you put the tips of your fingers, your hand is just straight, tips of your fingers on the board, and then you make a fist and you punch. And the goal is to break the board with just that punch from the distance of your fingers, to punching your fist through the board. And I couldn't believe it, but I broke a board with just that, boom, one little tiny effort. And I blinked, and I hooted and hollered because it was just amazing. And the reason that I've had that experience is because I was so grounded. I never felt so grounded in my life. I had spirit energy. I had ki flowing through me and flowing out of me. I felt absolutely unstoppable. And I was absolutely unstoppable because I was so grounded and at the same time so open to spirit. So this is what grounding does for you. Energizes you, relaxes you, helps you be that perfect conduit for spirit's message. Because if you're connected, you're here to spread the message. You're here to spread the word, okay? So what are some of the results of not being grounded? I think we all know. We've seen it in ourselves, a lot of us, and of course we can always pick out in other people what we're guilty of. So if you're not a grounded person, it's hard to be reliable. You tend to be more flaky. You tend to you can spin out. Like I said again, this makes you at risk for spinning out into spirit too far and then not being able to come back, because we don't live in a culture that fosters that healing, spiritual awakening, spiritual opening up. We just don't. So stay close to your tribe and stay grounded. It also, it makes it more difficult, like I said, to truly connect you to spirit. If you're ungrounded and you're open to spirit, it makes it hard. What is it exactly? It's not that you're not connected, but like I say, you don't have the ability to make it concrete for yourself or for anybody else. It's very floaty. It's very, it's hard to, it's actually, if you're not grounded, it's impossible to really do anything, I would say, productive with the information that you're getting from spirit, that you're receiving from spirit. So it's like it just kind of shoots through you, but not in a way, it disappears very quickly. If you're grounded, you can hang on to that long enough, and you could turn around and you can make something of it, and you can do something with it. So that's really the most important thing for me, in my view, to be grounded. And this goes for spiritual teachers, this goes for readers, this goes for healers. You know, the thing, if you're an energy worker and you're not grounded, and you're bringing spirit energy through and you're not grounded, it is going to exhaust you. If you're a reader, you're bringing spirit energy through and you're doing readings for people, it is going to exhaust you. So, you know, that's because you're trying to do the heavy lifting instead of letting spirit do it. So your job is to ground yourself and open yourself up, and then it will flow and you will feel energized for with doing the work of spirit. Okay, so let me shift gears here, and you say, okay, great, grounding is good. I'm convinced. I believe you. So let's talk about how you can ground yourself. So, like anything in the spirit world or in our spiritual world, there are countless techniques to ground yourself. And you can, and I tell you to experiment and find what works for you. It's like I said at the beginning of this show, I don't prescribe a dogma. You know, take what works for you and hang on to it, because creation is big enough for everything to be truth. It's just what works for you, what resonates with your vibration. So I'm going to go through some of the good grounding techniques that I've learned over time, and you can take these. If you hear something, go, that works for me, that resonates. Take it, steal it, please, run with it. Or you could take pieces, or you could say none of that works for me, and you can hit the Googles and you can do research grounding techniques, and you will find a million out there. So just breathe and feel into what works for you. So the first one I like to teach is was taught to me by Dr. Creamy at the Hikari Ruza Center. And I'll just go ahead and walk you through it. And if you're in a place where you can do this with me, fantastic. If not, just perk your ears up, maybe take some notes, and you can do this. You can try this out later. So I always start with the breath. Okay, the breath is the first step to grounding. And I start with the yogi breath. So the yogi breath is breathing in through your nose, and you fill up your abdomen first, and then you fill up your lung cavity. Breathe in, and then let your breath suspend for about 5 seconds. Don't lock your diaphragm, but just suspend it, and then breathe out as slowly as you can. Breathe in, suspend, breathe out, suspend. And then one more time, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so the breath is what helps us get lined up with spirit right away. It's one of our connections to spirit, one of our connections through the silver cord, out the crown, and up into the divine. So you're breathing, you're locked in. Now I want you to see source energy. And I want you to see it come down through your crown. Boom. Through your crown, down to your third eye, hitting your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral, your roots. Feel that energy shoot down through your right leg, all the way to the core of the earth. Feel it hook around the core of the earth and come back up through the earth. You're going to feel it come up your left leg, up through the chakras, through the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, the crown, up and connecting with that source energy. And it's going to be going down your body through your right leg, up your body, up your left leg, and up and connecting. And that grounds you right there. You're connected ethereally to source, and you're connected to the earth, and you are that perfect conduit that I was talking about. So some other techniques that are really simple. You know, sometimes we just need something to go to, you know, like when we're driving and we're feeling a little like we're lifting out of our body. So one of the things that I like to share is the shaking hands. So I remember I told you the story about the jiu-jitsu class, and I was in the bathroom and just started shaking my hands vigorously. So if you can start shaking your hands, it's like you're shaking off the excess energy, or you're shaking it into the earth, and you're grounding yourself that way. I think of it as shaking off that excess energy. That's how it works for me. So just shaking your hands, maybe jumping around a little bit, going up and down on your toes, just shake, 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 shake. That helps get the anxiety that you feel a lot of times when you're ungrounded is excess energy, and it needs to be distributed or shaken off, or dealt with in some way, and that's a way to do that. Another technique I learned from Mary Greer. So Mary Greer is an author and a tarot card reader. She's got tons of books out there on tarot card reading. So if you are interested in tarot cards or you're a tarot buff, check her out. Her name is Mary Greer, Greer. So she taught me a technique that I thought was just brilliant. She said she uses this when she does her readings. So what she does is both feet on the ground, and she turns her palms towards the earth, and she pulses her hands and just sees the energy and feels the energy pulsing into the earth and keeping her settled there. And what I like about this technique is it's subtle. So if you're out and about, you don't have to be shaking vigorously or taking deep breaths, and it's just a subtle pulsing into the earth. So another technique that was taught to me by a woman, I've actually had her as a guest on my show, and she talks about this technique way back when I first had her on. Her name is Anne O'Brien, and she's a clairvoyant medium. That's O and then the apostrophe BREIN. So she really specializes in practical spirituality, which I just love. She is the ultimate. She's sort of the queen of grounded, right? She is so grounded. She's so in her body and of the earth, and able to really, like I said earlier, really reach out to spirit in a very profound way, because she is so grounded. And one of the things that I love I like to do this for like as check-ins with people that I work for, is the color bubble. So think of a color. What color pops to your head? Okay, red popped into my head. I love that. We're talking about grounding, so red popped into my head. Now I want you to imagine a bubble of that color all around you. And you can put your hands out to the side, and the bubble goes all the way out and all the way up. And it dips into the earth, so it keeps you encapsulated in the earth. So that's the color bubble. So sometimes if you're out and about, you just need to think of a color, whatever color pops into your head, that's the bubble. That's the color of the bubble around you. So also getting into nature and walking, especially walking on dirt. Concrete works fine too, but really if you can walk on dirt, better yet walk barefoot on dirt, that will help ground you. That will connect you with the energies of the earth. Hugging a tree is really grounding. I actually had a dream last night where my son and I went out and hugged trees. Maybe we should do that today, huh? So walking, getting into nature, breathing. I talked about the yogi breath. Taking 3 deep breaths can do wonders to get you centered again and get you grounded. Now, here's my absolute favorite way of getting grounded. Practice manifesting. Practice manifesting. It is an awesome way to ground yourself. When you're really practicing your manifesting, you're getting present. You're dealing with the energies of the world, and you're dealing with spiritual energies to make the energies of the world concrete, to make what you want, to create reality in the physical world. So having a manifesting practice is a really good way to just keep yourself continually grounded. Okay, that's all we have for our topic of grounding today. I want to welcome you to call in with your questions about grounding or to get a reading with me. The number is 657-383-1895, and you'll press 1 to get on the show. So our first caller today is area code 305. Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank
Fantastic.
you for taking my call.
Oh, heck yeah. What's your name?
My name is Maria.
Hi, Maria. What can I help you with today?
Well, actually, I am calling regarding my love life. And
okay.
Everybody calls regarding their love life. And I really, I know, I really would like to get married again and, have a partner for the rest of my life. And I wonder if you see anything like that for me in my future or not, or any advice you can give me regarding that would be helpful.
Yes. Okay. So you've got to do some digging into your past, Maria. And there's a possibility that there's actually someone from your past, and I'm talking way back past, like childhood. There's something or someone in your past that needs to be brought up and addressed. So for you, it's about, let me lean into this a little bit. I feel like what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing from your perspective, there's like your childhood or your adolescence or your young adulthood is kind of what I'm seeing. But over to my right, I'm seeing this walled off area. This is an area where you don't go. All right, you don't go into that place in your past. And on the right side, that's the masculine side, that's the projecting side. So there's something about the masculine energy in your past that you don't go there and is even being blocked off from me because you're like, no, absolutely not. And now if you can walk up to this wall and walk around this wall and do some digging into your past, and I'm feeling adolescence is what I'm feeling. Okay. What happened there? What's going on with the masculine energy there that you've blocked off? Because the blocking off is what is making you have a hard time in relationships because you're not able to accept the masculine energy into your life that is really critical. A man that comes into your life wants to feel, how men are. They want to feel important. They want to feel like they're helping. But you what I'm seeing you do, and this is because of some stuff that happened to you or that you experienced with masculine energy in your past that was close to you. So this could be your father or brother, something that was in your life. You block something off. There's a place where you get to in a relationship and you just throw up a wall and you say, absolutely not, I'm not going there. Is this making sense to you?
Yeah. I just have to really analyze this. I'm not sure, but I know my father was a very controlling male figure.
Okay.
And maybe that has to do with,
Yeah. Well, feel your way into it. Go past that wall because what I'm getting is this. It's about your past. It's about your roots. And it's in adolescence. I feel like there's a period of time, a couple of years in adolescence where it was not good. It was not good for you. There was a lot of difficulty and trauma around masculine energy in your life. And that's where you need to go back to. Not to, how do you say, I'm not talking about going into therapy. I'm just talking about acknowledging it because to protect yourself, you throw up a wall. And that's what happens is you're unconsciously throwing up that wall in partnership. And so it's going to be hard for you to bring in that love of your life until you can let that wall down and become vulnerable. And it needs to start with you and going back into that place and going around that wall from your adolescence and just looking at, okay, what was my life like? And what do I need to understand about that? What do I need to see? Bravely look down the abyss. It's only, and when you get to it, it's only scary because it's the unknown.
Yes.
Shadows are bigger than, it's a shadow and it seems scary because you won't look at it. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you very much
for the
Maria. Perspective. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Okay. Our next caller, area code 352. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
Hi, this is Cindy. How are you?
Hi. Awesome, Cindy. How are you doing?
I'm good. I get outside where I can hear. Okay.
Glad to hear it. So what can I help you with,
Cindy?
Cindy?
Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Like some insight. Oh, thank you. My pleasure. I would like some insight if you can give me any assistance in finding my new home to relocate, what you see coming, because I really need to move out of this area.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Are you talking to people about your plans, about moving, about getting out of there, or are you keeping it to yourself? Because what I'm feeling is you should be talking to people because it's going to help solidify your plans. Does that make sense? Don't keep it a secret. Don't keep it on the down low. Talk about it.
Yeah, I know everybody knows I'm trying to find a place to move to. I've been
Okay, good.
here.
All right. All right. So what I'm feeling is the energy in my mouth and in my throat. So it's saying talk, 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 talk. So keep talking about it, and start writing as you have conversations with people. Like people around you are going to be able to help you. Are going to be able to help. And what I'm getting is like not specifically like find a home, but plan. Not a house, but a home. Does that make sense? Like this is a more permanent structure for you, a more permanent place for you that you're going to be able to get into, and talking to people about it and making lists and plans based on the conversations that you have. And it's not about you telling people, it's about you conversing with people about it, like talking to them about what a home looks and feels like. So that's going to help bring in, help solidify that energy for you. Okay, now let me lean into this a little bit more and see if I can get more details on specifics. Okay, so I actually see a house, and I see it on, it looks like a rice paddy or something. It's very wet and moist, but it's not exactly a lake or a body of water. But it kind of looks like maybe there's some agriculture and some water around there, an agricultural area with some water, like a real shallow body of water with some plants in it or some grass. Is that familiar to you?
Okay. Well, I don't have any place right now that I've found yet, so.
Okay.
But I am looking for an area with agriculture, with horse property.
Oh, you are? Okay. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing something, I see water. And it looks to me like rice paddies, you know what I mean? Or something like that. It's something where, like something plants submerged in water, growing submerged in water. I think those are rice paddies. Is that right? But so that's what I'm seeing for you. I'm seeing kind of a house, and I'm seeing you start talking about it with people in a way that is not like I got to get out of here kind of a way, but in a like having a conversation, like something a solid conversation, learning from people about their homes and what that feels like, and then writing it down and making it concrete. It's going to help you move forward and kind of move forward on that with more discipline and not concerted effort. That's not exactly the right word, because I know you're making a big effort, but more in more of a straight line. Like it's a little zigzaggy right now, the way that it's happening because of because the energy is kind of fraught around it. So it's going to help you straighten out your path to that. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense to you?
No.
Doesn't make sense to you?
Confused. No.
You're confused? Well, help me.
Yeah.
Tell me what confuses you.
Well, I've been networking with everybody that I talk to. But I have to also be careful. I can't let anybody know where I'm moving either, because I have a ex-boyfriend with a restraining order that I can't let anybody from here know who knows everybody in town. I can't let anybody know where I'm moving to. So it's kind of, I've got to maintain some anonymity when I move.
Okay. So what is confusing to you? Me telling you about like talking with people and the kind of conversations to have with people? Is that what's confusing to you?
Yeah, because really everybody around here that I associate with, I have to be careful and not let them know where I'm moving.
Mm-hmm.
But I am networking, letting them know I'm looking for a place,
Right. Well, the kind of conversations that I'm talking about, I don't feel like it requires you to say, like, this is where I'm moving and when, but talking more about, you have to, I feel like this is a permanent structure for you. This is a more permanent home for you, and that feels really, really good. And it's about you needing to learn, needing to sort of educate yourself through talking to other people about what that feels like, what a permanent place feels like for you. And that's going to help you ramp up your manifesting energies and help you get into your home that much sooner. Does that make more sense?
Okay. Yeah. I've had my own place before for 17 years.
Okay.
But in the past, okay. Thank you.
Okay, my dear. Well, you're so welcome. And I do see that house, though, for you, is like in that agricultural area, and it looks like kind of a bigger house with water around. So Keep your eyes open, my dear, and good luck to you.
Any time frame? Do you see any time frame when I'm going to find that?
I don't because I feel like the precursor to this is those conversations that I'm talking about with people.
Okay.
Having those conversations. All righty.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, that's it for callers today. Thank you so much for calling in with your questions. Thank you for tuning in, for listening. That's all we have for today's show. So it's been such a pleasure to share with you. And again, thank you for calling in with your questions, Maria and Cindy. Thank you for listening to In. I want to thank my producer, Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman of Goldilocks Productions. So without her, this show wouldn't be possible. Her production company, Goldilocks Productions, hosts a number of spiritual-based shows, and you can find them in the archives. You can find the archives hosted on Spreaker.com/Goldilocks Productions. So Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and Goldilocks Productions is Goldilocks with a Y. So GOLDYLOCKS Productions. Spreaker.com/Goldilocks Productions. So give us a follow there, explore all the fantastic content that Goldilocks Productions produces, and share whatever feeds you. So if you want to get in touch with me directly, you can visit my website at ingridhturner.com, ingridhturner.com. Our next show, February 28th, our monthly special. So we have a Reader's Circle scheduled. It's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. So I will have 3 incredible readers on to answer your questions. So be sure to call in, reserve your space on the lines for that show, because we only have an hour and we want to answer as many questions as possible. Thank you again for joining me. I am so looking forward to diving in again next week. You have a wonderful day.